What's up, fam? Hey. Hey. What's up, fam? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Woo! Wow. What's up, Jazz Monet? Hey. Absolutely. Absolutely. How y'all doing, fam? Just in case you need to know, everything is working for your good. Hey, Charlene. Absolutely. Hey, Grand Rising. Hey. Listen. Absolutely. So we listen to It's Working. You can stream this everywhere. Titus Glenn on all music outlets. Absolutely. Hey. Come on. Do me a favor, fam. Thank you for liking this live. Share this live. Get it out to those that need this conversation. We're going to be looking at Emmett Fox, his breakdown of the Lord's Prayer. Let's get into it. Hey. We're going to get into it. Hey. Come through. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Come through. Come on, just in case you need to know. What's up, Vincent Cookie? Hey, it's Boogie TV. Hey. Somebody needs to know that it's working for your good. All of it. Come through. Come on. If you're new here, let me know where you're tuning in from. We're getting ready to get into Metaphysical Bible Study, reading Emmett Fox breakdown of the Lord's Prayer. So we're going to get into this conversation. Hey. Absolutely. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Here we go. Yes, you do. Absolutely. Want you to know that all things work together. All of it. All of it is working for your good. What's up, Def G? Do Stars? What's up? All things are working for your greatest and highest good. And is. Hey. Hey. Alright, fam, we're getting ready to get into this Bible study. Thank you, Charlene, for getting us to our 1,000 initial likes in our quest to get to 10,000 likes. Big Daddy John, Jackie, Sonny. If you time me through, let me know where you're tuning in from so I can greet you. Hey, hey. Yee. Come through. Come on, all of it is working. What's up? It's me, Chrissy. What's up? Dan the Scam, Esther, Danny. For those else that are watching elsewhere, appreciate you. Saying hi to everybody coming in TikTok land. Mallory, Emma, Connie. Hey, 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 hey. That church boy in me. Hey. Let's get it. Absolutely. Hey, thank y'all for liking. Thank you for sharing this live. We're getting ready to get into it. Emmett Fox breakdown of the Lord's Prayer. Hey. Hey. Please let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear where you're tuning in from. So we will listen to It's Working by Titus Glenn. If you like the song, you can go stream that everywhere. Anywhere you get your music, that's where you can stream it from. But fam, we're going to get into this Metaphysical Bible study. We are looking at Emmett Fox, the Lord's Prayer. And if you don't know who Emmett Fox is, Emmett Fox was really known for his approach to metaphysics. When we talk about metaphysical Bible study, we're looking beyond the physical and the literal meaning of words to get into the allegory-ness, if we can say it like that, of Scripture versus taking everything just in this surface level way. All right, so we're going to be reading this link that I'm reading from. If you want to read it later, I did put it in my bio. So if you want to read it later, you can just click on my link tree and have access to it. This is from Lesson in Truth. But this is Emmett Fox, the Lord's Prayer from the Sermon on the Mount. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so the Lord's Prayer is the most important of all Christian documents. Okay, it was carefully constructed by Jesus with certain very clear ends in view. That is why all of his teachings, it is by far the best known and the most often quoted. It is indeed the one common denominator of all the Christian churches. All right. Every one of them, without exception, uses the Lord's Prayer. Ain't that the truth? It is perhaps the only ground upon which they all meet, because we all know that there's different denominations of Christianity. Every Christian child is taught the Lord's Prayer, and many Christian who prays at all says it almost every day. Its actual use probably exceeds that all other prayers put together. Its actual use probably exceeds that of all other prayers put together. Okay, I'm reading pretty fast. Okay, those that are coming in the room, welcome. Undoubtedly, everyone who is seeking to follow along the way that Jesus led should make a point of using the Lord's Prayer and using it intelligently every day. Let's get into it. In order to do this, we should understand that the prayer is a carefully constructed organic whole. Many people rattle through it like parrots, forgetful of the warning that Jesus gave us against vain repetitions. And of course, no one derives any profit that sort of thing. The great prayer is a compact formula for the development of the soul. It is designed with the utmost care for the specific purpose, so that those who use it regularly with understanding will experience a real change of the soul. Come on, Emmett, you're already talking good to me. And that's what I've been working with. Like, even my practice, not making it so religious that I got to get up and do it, but am I really sitting in and really appreciating getting up and spending time with God, source creator, myself? However you want to look at it. Like, is it becoming repetitious, or is actually coming something that is actually of substance? Because, hey friend, because to do it out of religiosity, it becomes, for lack of a better word, boring. And it just becomes something that you do, which is how we can get out of alignment and we can get out of the energy of what we're trying to create. Okay? The Great Prayer is a compact formula for the development of the soul. It is designed with the utmost care for the specific purpose, so that those who use it, quality, absolutely. Come on, am I spending quality time with the source creator? Come on, friend, absolutely. Quality over quantity, that part. And we have this conversation all the time. That's what's up. That's what's up. It not only provides, here we go. The only progress, let me go back. Let me go back. My bad. I got a little excited. Give my friend Carter some love. My best friend is in the room. All right. The Great Prayer is a compact formula for the development of the soul. And make sure y'all go follow him. When I say the guy teaches, he teaches. Okay. It is designed with the utmost care for the specific purpose, so that those who use it regularly with understanding, our friend, will experience a real change of the soul. The only progress is this change, which is what the Bible calls being born again. Woo! That's good already. Come on, we be talking about the thing about being born again, being into this knowing of what we were taught in Christianity, that to be born again is to come into this relationship with Jesus. When in actuality, when we really raise it up and look at it consciously, you being born again is your evolution. Man, that'll preach already. When you are evolving, or when you are changing your thought, when you are changing your view on things, that in itself is being born again. And if we dove into that, we will really appreciate the idea of what Jesus was really saying when he was talking about being born again. Man, it is the change of the soul that matters. The mere acquisition of fresh knowledge received intellectually makes no change in the soul. The Lord's Prayer is especially designed to bring this change about, and when it is regularly it invariably does so. Okay. The more one analyzes the Lord's Prayer, the more wonderful it is. Calm down, Titus. All right. The more one analyzes the Lord's Prayer, the more wonderful is its construction seem to be. It meets everyone's need just at his own level. It not only provides a rapid spiritual development for those who are sufficient advanced to be ready, but in its superficial meaning, it supplies the more simple-minded and even the more materially minded people with just what they need at the moment, if they use the prayer sincerely. Sheesh. The greatest of all prayers was designed with still another purpose in view, quite as important as either of the others. Jesus foresaw that, as centuries went by, his simple, primitive teaching would gradually become overlain by all sorts of external things which really have nothing whatever to do with it. He foresaw that men who had never known him, relying quite sincerely, no doubt, upon their own limited intellects. Woo! I'm leaning on your own understanding. You hear me? Would build up theologies and doctrinal systems, obscuring the direct simplicity of the spiritual message. and actually erecting a wall between God and man. Jeesh. Listen, this man is writing. He designed his prayer in such a way that it would pass safely through those ages without being tampered with. He arranged it with consummate skill so that it could not be twisted or distorted or adapted to any man-made system, so that, in fact, it would carry the whole Christ message within him and yet not have anything on the surface to attract the attention of the restless, managing type of person. So it has turned out that through all the changes and chances of Christian history, this prayer has come through to us uncorrupted and unspoiled. The first thing we notice is that the prayer naturally falls into 7 clauses. This is very characteristic of the Oriental tradition. 7 symbolizes individual soul. Ooh, listen. 7 symbolizes individual soul, just as the number 12 in the same convention stands for corporate completeness. In practical use, we often find an 8th clause added. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. But this, though in itself an excellent affirmation, is not really part of the prayer. The 7 clauses are put together with the utmost care, in perfect order and sequence, and they contain everything that is necessary for the nourishment of the soul. Let us consider the first clause. All right, fam, let's get into it. And like when I think of 7, it oftentimes put me like in alignment with chakras, like really clearing up those areas, right? Your root, your sacral, your solar, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, like really tapping into that space to where you're clearing these energies out. Okay, so let's tap into the first clause, our Father. This simple statement in itself constitutes a definite and complete system of theology. It fixes clearly and distinctly the nature and character of God. It sums up the truth of being. It tells all that man needs to know about God and about himself and about his neighbor. Anything that is added to this can only be by way of commentary and is more likely than not to complicate and obscure the true meaning of text. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "My religion is summed up in the first 2 words of the Lord's Prayer." And most of us will find ourselves in full agreement with him. Notice the simple, clear-cut, definite statement, our Father. In this clause, Jesus lays down once and for all that the relationship between God and man is that of father and child. This cuts out any possibility that the deity could be the relentless and cruel tyrant that is often pictured by theology. Yeesh. Listen. Jesus says definitely that the relationship is that of parent and child, not an Oriental despot dealing with groveling slaves, but parent and child. Now we all know perfectly well that men and women, however short they may fall in other respects, nearly always do the best they can for their children. Unfortunately, cruel and wicked parents are to be found, but they are so exceptional as to make a paragraph for the newspapers. The vast majority of men and women are at their best in dealing with their children. Speaking of the same truth elsewhere, Jesus said, "If you, who are so full of evil, nevertheless do your best for your children, how much more so will God, who is altogether good, do for you?" And so he begins his prayer by establishing the character of God as that of the perfect father dealing with his children. Listen, and I think that just kind of leads way to really cancel out this God who is wanting us to repent or ask for forgiveness of sin every time we do something wrong. For those that grew up in church and had to go to the altar every Sunday. And I feel like this clears that pathway up to know that you are loved just as you are. I was having a conversation with somebody, and we were just having conversations about even the hell concept. Like, no matter what my children do, I mean, as far as I'm raising them currently where they are in their walk, no matter the things that they've done, I don't see myself falling into space to where I'm not going to love them or welcome them back into my home. I'm just saying. Note that this clause, which fixes the nature of God, at the same time fixes the nature of man. Because if man is the offspring of God, he must partake of the nature of God. Ooh. Since the nature of the offspring is invariably similar to that of the parent. It is a cosmic law that like begets like. It is a cosmic law that like begets like. It is not possible that a rose bush should produce lilies or that a cow should give birth to a colt. Jeesh. The offspring is and must be the same nature as the parent. And so, since God is divine spirit, man must essentially be divine spirit too, whatever appearances may say to the contrary. I'm going to say that one more time for those that are coming in. Hey, my name is Titus Glenn, singer-songwriter, sound healer, and spiritual life coach, and we're just unpacking this Lord's Prayer through the lens of Emmett Fox, who was a metaphysical teacher. Let's run that back. It is cosmic law that like begets like. It is not possible that a rose bush should produce lilies or that a cow should give birth to a colt. The offspring is and must be of the same nature as the parent. Sheesh. And so, since God is divine spirit, man must essentially be divine spirit too, whatever appearances may say to the contrary. All right, family, if you liking this, do me a favor. Continue to like that screen, get into 10,000 likes. I'm going to request that you share this live for those that need this healing modality of conversing metaphysically. Let us pause here for a moment and try to realize what a tremendous step forward we have taken in appreciating the teaching of Jesus on this point. Do you not see that at a single blow it swept away 99% of the old theology, with its avenging God, its chosen and favored individuals, its eternal hellfire, and all the other horrible paraphernalia of man's diseased and terrified imagination? God exists. And the eternal, all-powerful, all-present God is the loving Father of mankind. If you will meditate upon this act until you have some degree of understanding of what it really means, most of your difficulties and physical ailments would disappear, for they are rooted and grounded in fear. Woo! Listen, Grand Rising Side A. If you will meditate upon this account, what is the account? The account is that God is divine. God is the divine spirit. And if I am an offspring of God, I am also a divine spirit. If you will meditate on this, until you have some degree of understanding of what it really means, most of your difficulties and physical ailments would disappear, for they are rooted and grounded in fear. Woo. The underlying cause of all trouble is fear. The underlying cause of all trouble is fear. If only you could realize to some extent that the omnipotent wisdom is your living, loving Father, most of your fears will go. If you could realize it completely, every negative thing in your life would vanish away, and you would demonstrate perfection in every phase. Now you see the object that Jesus had in mind when he placed his claws first. Next, we see that the prayer says, not my Father, thank you for the share today, but our Father. And we are breaking down Emmett Fox Lord Prayer metaphysically. It says our Father, and this indicates beyond the possibility of mistake. Hey, Grand Rising fam. The truth of brotherhood of man. Sheesh. Hey. The truth of the brotherhood of man. It forces upon our attention at the very beginning the fact that men are indeed brethren, the children of one Father. Thank you for the gift, Beth. And that there is neither Jew, come on, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither choice or unchosen, because all men are brethren. Here Jesus is making his second point, ends all the tiresome nonsense about a chosen race. Woo! Jeesh! Come through! Because that's what we be fighting over. Oh, these are the chosen people. No, these are not the chosen people. Make it make sense, family. How is one person chosen over the next? If we are that would mean that God is prejudiced. Jeesh. Man, here's Jesus making his second point, ends all the tiresome nonsense about a chosen race, about the spiritual superiority of and one group of human beings over any other group. He cuts away the illusion that the members of any nation or race or territory or group or class or color are, in the sight of God, superior to any other group. A belief in the superiority of one's own particular group or herd, as the psychologists call it, is an illusion to which mankind is very prone. But in the teaching of Jesus, it has no place. He teaches that the thing that places a man in the spiritual condition of his own individual soul, and that as long as he is upon the spiritual path, it makes no difference whatever to what group he belongs or does not belong. Come on, it sounds like oneness. Hey, Brooke. The final point is the implied command that we are to pray not only for ourselves, but all mankind. Every student of truth should hold the thought of truth of being for the whole human race for at least a moment each day, since none of us lives to himself nor lies to himself. For indeed we are all truly and in a much more literal sense than people are aware, limbs of one body. Come on. I'm here at Harris Scott Walker. I need you. Hey, you need me. Hey, we're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is his will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. Listen, y'all hear me? We are all a part of a body. We are part. We are part. This is why we have to be mindful of what we say to each other. What's up, that guy? How are you? We are reading from. Oh, that's what's up. We are reading from uh, lessons in truth. We are reading Emmy Fox, The Breakdown of the Lord's Prayer Metaphysically. So we just talked about our Father. Let's get into which art in heaven. Listen, let's get into it. Having clearly established the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man, and that's the connection with our Father. Jesus next. Happy birthday. Oh, that's what's up. Having clearly established the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man, Jesus next goes on to enlarge upon the nature of God and to describe the fundamental facts of his existence. Having shown that God and man are parent and child, he goes on to delineate the function of each in the grand scheme of things. He explains that it is the nature of God to be in heaven and of man to be on earth, because God is cause and man is manifestation. Woo! Thank you, Brooke. God is cause and man is manifestation. Cause cannot be expression, and expression cannot be cause. And we must be careful not to confuse the two things. Here, heaven stands for God or cause, because in religious phraseology, heaven is the term for the presence of God. In metaphysics, it is called the absolute, because it is the realm of pure, unconditioned being, of archetypal ideas. The word earth means manifestation. Grand Rising, Jennifer. And man's function is to manifest or express God or cause. Ooh, I know this is kind of meaty. This is so meaty. So essentially, what Emmett is teaching us, that we are an expression of God. To keep it clear and simple, that we are an expression of God. In other words, God is the infinite and perfect cause of all things, but cause has to be expressed. And God expressed himself by means of man. Man's destiny is to express God in all sorts of glorious and wonderful ways. Some of this expression we see as his surroundings. First, his physical body. Ooh, come on, this is an expression. Your body is an expression of God. You hear me? This is why it says in the beginning, "Let us make man in our image." Jeesh. First, his physical body, which is really only the most intimate part of his embodiment. Then his home, his work, his recreation. In short, his whole expression. To express means to press outwards or bring into sight that which already exists implicitly. Every feature of your life is really a manifestation or expression of something in your soul. Ooh, this is meaty. You hear me? Some of these points may seem at first to be a little abstract, and do. But since it is misunderstandings about the relationship of God and man that leads to all difficulties, it is worth any amount of trouble to correctly understand that relationship. Trying to have manifestation without cause is atheism and materialism, and we know where they lead. Trying to have cause without manifestation leads man to suppose himself to be a personal God, and this commonly ends in megalomania and a kind of paralysis of expression. The important thing to realize is that God is in heaven and man on earth, and that each has his own role in the scheme of things. Although they are one, they are not one and the same. Woo. Jesus establishes this point carefully when he says, "Our Father, which art in heaven." How y'all doing, fam? How y'all doing? What are y'all takeaways so far? What are y'all takeaways so far? Megalomania is the pronunciation, but this got you. Listen, I do know how to read. We learning words every day. Oh, that's what's up. Megalomania, yes. Let me look this word up because that's megalomania. What does that mean? In all thy reading, get an understanding. Ooh, megalomaniac, a person who is obsessed with their own power. Ooh. Mm. Listen, megalomaniac, a person who expressed with own power. I never knew you had to have causation for manifestation. For sure, Jennifer, I would say that's how you keep it. I think that cause is that inspiration. For sure. All right, can we move on to the next? Brooke. I'm not gonna get into the politics here, but that was hilarious. Okay. Hallowed be thy name. Let's go into the next nugget. In the Bible, as elsewhere, you wanted your greatest good. I think that's definitely true, Jennifer. We always want our greatest good. But I think what Emmett is saying with that every good, the cause of that is God, and when you get to your greatest good and your highest vibration is an expression of that cause. Mm. In the Bible, as elsewhere, oh, yes. In the expression of you, if you're expressing that good, underneath that is the cause. In the Bible, as elsewhere, the name of anything means the essential nature or character of that thing. And so, when we are told what the name of God is, we are told what his nature is, and his name or nature. Jesus says is hallowed. Oh, for sure, bro. Now, what does the word hallowed mean? Well, if you trace the derivation back into Old English, you would discover a most extraordinary, interesting, and significant fact. The word hallowed has the same meaning as holy, whole, wholesome, healed, or healed. So we see that the nature of God is not merely worthy of our veneration, but is complete and perfect, altogether good. Some very remarkable consequences follow from this. We have agreed that an effect must be similar in its nature to its cause. And so, because the nature of God is hallowed, everything that follows from that cause must be hallowed or perfect too. Sheesh, this is good. Just as a rose bush cannot produce lilies, so God cannot cause or send anything but perfect good. Man, did y'all catch that? As the Bible says, the same fountain cannot send forth both sweet and bitter water. From this, it follows that God cannot, as people sometimes think, send sickness or trouble or accidents, much less death. For these things are unlike his nature. Hallowed be thy name means thy nature is altogether good, and thou thou art the author only of perfect good, a, a purer eyes than to behold evil, and cannot look on iniquity. Thank you so much, Brooke. If you think that God has sent any of your difficulties to you for no matter how good a reason, you are giving power to your troubles. And this mistakes it very difficult to get rid of them. And this mistakes it very difficult to get rid of them. Man. So with this idea in mind, family, like if we really, really marinate with the knowing that God is good, so are you. And I think, what is the ACIM that says nothing happens without your permission in itself? So everything that's happening in your world is you've given it access. You've given it access. And that might be something, yes, A Course in Miracles. Yes, ACIM, A Course in Miracles. That in itself, I've had to really learn how to unpack that and really be okay with the understanding that I'm creating my reality. Good, bad, or indifferent. I got you. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Man, being manifestation or expression of God, has a limitless destiny for him. That's what's up. I'll let you know when I'm ready. His work is to express in concrete, definite form the abstract ideas with which God furnishes him. And in order to do this, he must have creative power. If he did not have creative power, he would be merely a machine through which God worked, an automation. But man is not an automation. He is an individualized consciousness. Man. God individualizes himself in an infinite number of distinct focal points of consciousness, each one quite different, and therefore each one is a distinct way of knowing the universe, each a distinct experience. Notice carefully that the word individuals means undivided. The consciousness of each one is distinct from God and from all others, and yet none are separated. How can this be? How can two things be one and yet not one and the same? The answer is that in matter, which is finite, they cannot, but in spirit, which is infinite, they can. With our present limited three-dimensional consciousness, we cannot see this, but intuitively we can understand it through prayer. If God did not individualize himself, there would be only one experience. As it is, there are as many universes as there are individuals to form them through thinking. Woo! Alondra, is this too meaty this morning? Oh, that's what's up. God is a verb. I'm gonna have to check that out. Like you have to raise your intuitiveness to understand this. Because without the intuitiveness, it'll leave you like, what did he just say? Oh, for sure. For sure. Let's see. Okay. If God did not individualize himself, oh, that's what's up, Brooke. If God did not individualize himself, there would be only one experience. As it is, there are as many universes as there are individuals who form them through thinking. Thy kingdom come. means that it is our duty to be ever occupied in helping to establish the kingdom of God on earth. That is to say, our work is to bring more upon this plane. That is, we are here. That is what we're here for. The old saying, God has a plan for every man, and God has a plan for every man, and he has one for you, is quite correct. God has glorious and wonderful plans for every one of us. He has a plan. He has a planned, splendid career, full interest of life and joy for each one of our lives. Let's see. He has a planned, a splendid career full of interest, life, and joy for each. And if our lives are dull or restricted or squall, that is not his fault, but ours. OMG. I have to go back and read that again. Brooke, I'm humbled that you would consider. Listen, he has a planned, splendid career full of interest, life, and joy for each of us. And if our lives are dull or restricted or squalled, that is not his fault, it is ours. Listen. Oh, I appreciate you. If only you will find out the thing God intends you to do and will do it, you will find that all doors will open for you. Man, come on, somebody. If only you will find out the thing God intends you to do and will do it, you will find that all doors will open for you. All obstacles in your path will melt away. You will be acclaimed a brilliant success. You will be most liberally rewarded from the monetary point of view, and you will be gloriously happy. That is, I feel like, taking us back to healing your life, because I feel like what Paul Ferrini was trying to get us to do was to clean up the wounds and clean up those. Oh, thank you. I'm just playing with it. Like, it's cleaning up all the errors that we had in our childhood so that we can start really tapping into love. Really going after what we love versus leading and walking in fear. Whew. There is a true place in life for each one of us, upon the attainment of which we shall be completely happy and perfectly secure. On the other hand, until we find our true place, we never shall be either happy or secure. No matter what other things we may have, our true place is the one place where we can bring the kingdom of God into manifestation and truly say, thy kingdom cometh. We have seen that man too often chooses to use his free will in a negative way. He allows himself to think wrongly, selfishly, and this wrong thinking brings upon him all his troubles, instead of understanding that it is his essential nature to express God, to be ever about his Father's business. He tries to set up upon his own account. Let me run that back. Instead of understanding that it is his essential nature to express God, to be ever about his Father's business, he tries to set up upon his own account. All our troubles arise from just this folly. We abuse our free will. Woo! Say that again, Emmett. We abuse our free will, trying to work apart from God. And the very natural result is all the sickness, poverty, sin, trouble, and death that we find on the physical plane. We must never for a moment try to live for ourselves or make plans or arrangements without reference to God, or suppose that we can be either happy or successful if we are seeking any other end than to do His will. For sure. That is the truth, Brooke. I totally agree. Whatever your desire may be, whether it be something concerning our daily work or a duty at home, our relations with our fellow man, or private plans for the employment of our time, if we seek to serve self instead of God, we are ordering trouble, disappointment, and unhappiness, notwithstanding what the evidence to the contrary may seem to be. This is reminding me of the conversation that I had with my best friend Carter. That really to be in service is where God is. Let me say it like that. What I have found that when you are leading and you are leading in the way that you are in service, it breeds and shows God. So when you find who you're called to, when you find out where you belong, then everything else opens up for you. Whereas if we choose what through prayer we know to be His will, then we are ensuring ourselves ultimate success, freedom, and joy. However much self-sacrifice and self-discipline it may involve at the moment. Listen, our business is to bring our whole nature as fast as we can into conformity with the will of God by constant prayer and unceasing through unanxious watching. Our wills are ours to make them thine. Sheesh. And His will is our peace, said Dante, and the Divine Comedy is really a study in fundamental states of consciousness. The inferno representing the state of the soul that is enduring to live without God. The paradise representing the state of the soul that has been achieved is conscious unity with the divine will. And the purgatorio, the condition of the soul that is struggling to pass from one state to the other. Listen, wait, I'm running that back. And the purgatorio, the condition of the soul that is struggling to pass from one state to the other. That purgatory, that is hell. Yes? That analogy right there. When we learn how to tap into our purpose, tapping into service, we are living in paradise. And when we are making that transition, we are really walking into heaven. Grand Rising. But when we are in conflict with that will because of our human nature, and when we are struggling to really embrace the will that is divine, we are in purgatory. Yo, if that's not a word for somebody, it was this sublime conflict of the soul which wrung from the heart of the great Augustine the cry, Thou hast made us for thyself, and our hearts are restless until they repose in thee. Listen, ain't that the truth? Until, I don't know if this hits anybody different. Until you get into alignment to what your soul is calling you to do, you will continue to be restless. I don't know who needs to hear that. Until you get into alignment to what your soul is calling you to do, you will continue to be restless. I don't know about you, But I'm finna write it down, Brooke. I'm finna write it down until you get into alignment with what your soul is calling you to do. You will continue to be restless. I'm just making this note here. And I'm speaking from experience. I got you. It's in the making. It's in the making. All of that is in the making. And this is why I continue to preach. Find yourself, be yourself, and then let other people do the same. Because it's something to really find out who you are. But not only find yourself, now you gotta be yourself without caring what other people think. Grand Rising, Brooke. And that's how you tap into abundance. That's how you tap into freedom. That's what's up. So yeah, fam, we went into, this is the breakdown of the Lord's Prayer. And what we broke down this morning was Our Father, which speaks to mankind oneness together, which art in heaven, speaking to the cause that is God and the manifestation, which is us. And what I like about Emmett, when he's breaking this stuff down, in his other book, Sermon on the Mount, he talks about earth is the manifestation. Earth is a manifestation. You are a manifestation. I do not, Brooke. You are the manifestation of God. And how do you express God? By living in purpose, by living according to what your heart and your soul is calling you to do. Listen, then we talked about hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name, referencing God being holy. Holy is referencing to being whole. And then Emmett started talking about how, going back to, a rose cannot produce lilies, right? So if God is whole, God cannot produce anything that's not whole. Thank you. Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house today? And recognizing this truth, family, there is nothing missing or broken about you, and that everything that you was born with, geesh, if you understood that everything that you was born with is for use. God is not going to waste anything. You hear me? Because everything that you have is divine. It's divinely orchestrated. And if you could get into that energy, all of your troubles, like Emmett would say, would vanish. Listen, naive, absolutely. All things. So family, that is our time today. If you are inspired today, do me a favor, share this live for those that are that might need this inspiration later on, if they need to find me. If you yourself are needing assistance with unpacking more of this conversation to really understand the power that's within you, I do have information in my bio on how we can connect. If you're struggling with how to tap into your purpose, how to navigate the religious trauma that you've experienced, how to really believe in yourself, how to get to you being authentically you, I have a discovery call that you can tap in to for us to see if we would be even a good fit, a 15-minute conversation that we can have around just you and where you're trying to go, to really heal the core of the matter, to really propel you forward. That information is in the bio. So I appreciate you. And if you were inspired today and you want to send a donation, you can send a donation to $titusglenn. That information is in the bio as well. Before we hop out though, family, give me 2 feeling words after this discussion today. How are you feeling? Thank you, Sade. Thank you, Brooke. How are you feeling today after today's conversation? Thank you, Brooke. I appreciate it. Because I know image writing can be, it takes a moment to sometimes digest. That's what's up, Brooke. But if you allow yourself to sit with it, I'm reminded of what Iyanla was saying in her spiritual sanctuary when we were going on this journey. She was saying, just put it on the Velcro, and if it sticks, it sticks, and if it doesn't, be okay with letting it fall off. Because what you need to know, you will know. And if it doesn't make sense right now, it's okay. Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift. All that ish. I appreciate you. Oh, it's okay, Rhea. Thank you for tuning in. Inspired and yearning. Come on, thank you for sharing. You too, Sade. We did the breakdown of the Lord's Prayer metaphysically, and I'm just reading from the article. The article is in my bio, so if you want to read through the article, it's there, and it's just breaking down the different sectors of the Lord's Prayer and looking at it again metaphysically and kind of debunking some theologies that have been man-made to keep us separated from God and from man. Gotta feel like it's in your skin doing whatever you do or whenever you're around. Gotcha. So, all right, family. We're getting ready to hop out, and we've been working to try to come back live later to do laters for readings, and we're gonna see if we can reattempt that again today. So, those that are subscribe to the channel, I am putting this in the replay section in the Discord. So if you want to come back and rewatch it, you can do that. So we get ready to hop out. You guys have the most amazing